and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I interviewed the mayor of Chicago on the show on Saturday, and I was like, it was a great conversation. It was really nice, and Brandon Johnson is a great example of somebody that he's a Democrat. I don't 100% agree with all of the stuff that he's doing, but that doesn't matter. The alternative is far worse, and I'm completely happy with whatever compromises you make back and forth in those situations. It's not even doesn't even fucking register in that regard. But we had a great conversation, I think, largely about and the element of like perfection as a fallback argument, right? And a lot of people he had brought up, there was a nice moment where he was like, Chicago people can be very stubborn. And I'm like, no, we're not. Which got a nice laugh in the room and kind of broke the tension of the conversation. I felt it was pretty good. And it was overall a lovely conversation. But he was bringing up, and this is what he gets in terms of his pushback and what he's having to deal with, is this idea of, nobody's going to be perfect for everybody. And he brought up the word perfect over and over again. Okay. Oh, thanks for the snacks for Ruby. That was very sweet. Who put that in there? I just saw that go by in our super chat. Where was it? I just saw it. Oh, thank you so much, Eric. And it was fun. It was just like but it meant a lot to me to like address that perfection thing again, because in an argument with other people, the perfection fallback is a cop out. It happens all, like, people do it in relationship conversations so much that it became a joke in Dumb and Dumber. I'm sorry, Mr. Perfect. I guess you never make a mistake, right? That was okay. So that conversation has been had so many times is literally a gag in the. You can scroll back, Bubs. It's super cute. If you missed the kitten, you can always scroll back. That's the great thing about the internet. It's forever, and then I'll wait. I'm kidding. So, but this in a relationship argument, anybody who falls back to the perfection thing is a cop-out on the other person. You don't want to address the criticism, on its measure, you don't want to talk about the details, so you just fall back to perfection. And the attack on perfection works the same way in the inverse, where somebody's like expecting perfection from you, right? And acting as if they should get everything they want, and if you're not, they just jump on them, right? All that shit. And so it's very valuable, I think, to address that. I think it's important. It's about time that we do. And anybody who throws in their sort of default perfection defense or perfection attack in the form of a purity test or something like that, if they're not getting 100% of what they want, nobody gets anything. That old issue that we had, and we spoke about that earlier on the show today. And if you haven't seen this morning's show, I recommend checking it out. And I also, because I went on a bit of a rant when Tara was on, because she definitely triggered that part in me that I'm like, I just feel like we have work to do, and as Democrats and as people who actually care about these issues. So anytime somebody is doing the perfection fallback to defend Trump, don't let them get away with it. Anybody who tries to use phrases like hold their feet to the fire and expects some sort of or even in some cases the term hold them accountable. That's one of the favorite phrases going around. The problem I have is that holding them accountable is not motivating them. It's not focusing on motivating them, helping them. There's only a limited number of hours in the day. There's only so many priorities you can take care of. And a lot of times people are in the situation where they're putting out fires on their own, mixed with the stuff they do as part of their job. Okay. You get triggered a lot. Yeah. Right. The goal has to be in those situations. I'm not interested. You hold criminals accountable. Okay. You don't hold your own side accountable. You motivate them. And if you can't motivate them, that's not their problem. That's your problem. Work on your pitch. If it matters to you and you're trying to get them, to go in a certain direction and they're not hearing you, or they're stuck in this like this language loop or something, find a way to break them out of it. Break out of your own language loop. If you're just using keywords and they're just reacting like Pavlov's dogs, that's because maybe the last person who used those keywords was a dickhead who they're not even sure if that person really gives a shit. Right? I hear people all the time, fuck, Russell Brand sounded like a liberal for a long time while he was raping people, allegedly. Let's look back on when Russell Brand was a darling of the left, as they like to say, and we find out now that all during that time he was allegedly sexually assaulting people in LA and in England. 4 charges in both places. The language was right, though. He said all the right words. Right? So be real clear. Your job is not to hold people to the people that are on your side. The job is not hold them to account, to make them accountable, to hold their feet to the fire, right? Your job is to motivate them, to bring that passion that you believe and inspire them with it. Because if you can't, then maybe you're not the person who should be talking about it. And that brings me to my other thing. And this happens a lot. This is mostly in the media sphere. It's not about you guys. It's not even about, all the people online who are talking about stuff. But there's a bunch of activist class people out there who talk big about certain issues, but set us all back. And it's very clear. Your heart's in the right place, but your head is up your ass. And you have all the right feelings about this, and you believe in these things, but you can't communicate it for shit. So maybe try to find another way to help. I don't know, pick up a fucking broom, do something else. Volunteer in a physical sense, because if your words are demotivating people, and you don't mean to, and that's the other thing, because some of them I actually believe are fucking full of shit, but the ones, if you genuinely mean it and you're contributing to the negativity in the conversation and not helping translate, voices into votes or any of that shit, then I gotta say, maybe it's you. Maybe shut the fuck up. Maybe you realize, like, I'm just not good at communicating this yet. And so I gotta find another way to help. And there's a bunch of them. There's non-communication ways to help in a lot of ways. That's why Rob and I were talking about, like, do graphic design if you do that or volunteer. I don't care if you fucking bake cookies for the fucking Democratic Party nearby or drop off snacks or something like that. You can contribute in that way. But if you fuck up the conversation because you can't match your emotions in your words or your thoughts in your words, or you can't make a cohesive argument about this and you're setting the conversation back because you're not up to it, and this is, again, mostly not about you guys. This is largely about the people that are online, that are, I would say, high up in the media sphere. I think there's a bunch of people out there who allegedly give a shit who are terrible at communicating the actual ideas. They're great at drawing a crowd. They're great at, like, firing people up. But they've got no solution, and they certainly, if they did, even, I would argue, even when they do, sometimes they are terrible at articulating it. Right? And I think you're right. I think the biggest thing we probably have to worry about, probably the kidney.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Dear God.
You are watching house of worldwide. You got your love for the ride.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
So please would you like to subscribe?
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Okay, are we all right? Or do we make it through? Whew. Oh, that was. That was a lot. I'm not sure I can go on with the show. It's some dangerous shit. I'm like, I'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess.
Beware the kidney. Oh, beware.
Ah! No!
You're a miss, yeah.